Alexa, turn on the office. What's up everybody, Steve the graphics guy here. I'm back for another video today and I'm excited to share with you some updates about everything that's been going on. So I can't believe it's been like 3 months since I've uploaded a video, and the reason for that is things have just been pretty busy, a little crazy, and unfortunately YouTube is not on the highest of my priority list, and if something has to slide, it's definitely going to be that. I don't love it, but there's other things that are much more important as far as taking care of me and my business and everything I have going on. It's not to say this isn't important, but if something has to go, it's this, and it's not going to go. I'm just saying, if I don't have time, I don't have time. So, a few updates. I was training a production assistant / installer for a few months, and that didn't seem to pan out as planned. So that's unfortunate, but on the bright side, I've been able to work on myself and get things in better order in preparations for the next person, which I've had an ad out for quite some time, and I've been getting pretty bad results. I almost thought I had someone to hire, and that's not going to work out. So still looking for someone to fill that position, and it seems to be the toughest position to fill, and it's the one I need to fill the most, but still working on that. And since the last time we talked, I have hired a designer. She is amazing and helping me out so much, taking that design burden that I really didn't have time for. If a customer needed design, it was going to be pretty minimal because I'm just so busy with everything else and can't do it all myself. So now this has given us an opportunity to really help our clients better serve them with better design, and just in general being able to help them. So that is an important update. As far as the shop itself, I've been doing a bunch of updates around here, so I guess we'll just take a walk around. A couple things going on over in this area. I scored this awesome table and chairs off of Facebook Marketplace, and that's pretty cool because I've always wanted a little meeting area, and that's gonna do it. So we rearranged a little bit. We got these cabinets kind of hiding the IT stuff and the new air conditioner, which is partially installed. And then you got this big guy, which is super cool. It's actually double-sided and it has the ends too. This is something we're gonna use for some indoor trade shows and events. And for now, we just have it set up in the office because it's cool and I like it. Something else I have going on is this new area for some media, and that's gonna change because you can't really access that stuff right now, but we're working on getting it up onto the pallet rack, so that will be coming soon. And I got these like caution stanchions and stuff that I could bring to job sites and caution off my work area because it's something that should be done. Safety precautions should always be taken, and that's something that I'm gonna be doing moving forward because I don't want anyone to ever sue me. So that's something that I've implemented and is gonna be coming to site with me on jobs where the public can access the areas, and I need to keep them out of it. Another cool thing is this drywall cart. This is going to be used for my printed materials before they go to the cutter. Anything like 4x8, any sheet stock is going to go on there. And you're probably wondering what this big machine is over here. And a bunch of you probably already know, because I've probably already talked about it a little bit in the Facebook group, but this is our new flatbed printer. It's a Kundo. It's 4 foot by 8 foot. It's UV LED. And that's what it looks like. You can tell by some of the text there that this wasn't made in the USA. And I'm not really convinced that many of these, if any, I mean, there's definitely one that's built in the USA. Probably more than one. But as much as I love the flag, I love the red, white, and blue, want to buy things made in America, couldn't do that with this purchase. Just because of the cost, really. It's, to get a machine made in the US, you're probably spending $250,000. And to just jump in a flatbed and spend that, not happening. So went with the Kundo, pretty happy with it so far. It's a little bit of a learning curve. I'm sure there's still a ton to learn for me, but mainly right now we're doing corrugated. Haven't really printed any ACM on it yet, but definitely plan to. Kind of just been getting our feet wet with corrugated, setting up templates for like 18 by 24s, to be honest. It's just the easy stuff for right now. But we actually did do a cool project with varnish. So why don't I show you that? So this was actually pretty cool. It's a greater than sign for a semi-local business, but I'm pretty sure they're all over the world. And what we did was I had my designer set up a file. She made this brick pattern, which was amazing, and made it all kind of grungy and stuff. And then with varnish, we just layered ink, honestly, like all day. And we're able to create this textured brick pattern. Probably thinking, Steve, why did you print that textured brick pattern? You could go buy it at Home Depot. However, they used to sell it at Home Depot, and I'm pretty sure they used to sell it at Lowe's, but apparently they don't anymore. You used to be able to buy 4x8 sheets printed just like that, where it's actually textured, and that would have been awesome. But I found out that they don't do that anymore. They don't have it, at least by us. And the one that they had at Lowe's, it was just a flat printed pattern. There was no dimension to it, so that wouldn't have worked. The whole point of this was that we're going to prime it white for an artist. They're going to paint over it, and it's going to have this brick texture underneath the artist painting, and it's going to be super cool and go in a hallway, and everyone's going to look at it and love it and not know how many hours it took us to print, because it took forever. It took probably, each pass took probably about an hour, and I probably did at least 6 passes, which was crazy. Anyway, I could talk about random things all day, but I'm gonna get the flatbed ready to print, which means I need to purge some ink, clean the heads, and rinse and repeat, because it's never perfect the first time. And that's something I'm learning with the flatbed, is that it takes way more maintenance than my HP latex, which virtually doesn't need any maintenance. It's just pretty much ready to go at all times, where this thing needs a lot more hand holding. And So I try to, even if I'm not using it, power it up every couple days, wipe the heads, run a test pattern, make sure it gets cleared, and then shut it down basically if I'm not using it. But I'm gonna get it cleaned up right now. I have one project I could print, and let's get it going. So while the machine's turning on and getting into a zero position, I'm gonna grab some gloves because I don't want this ink on me at all. Not good for you. And I'm a clean guy. So gloves it is. Let's do it. All right, so one of the first things with this printer is that this ink system is like a whole pressurized thing, which probably makes more sense to some of you than it does to me saying it. But if the machine doesn't have power to keep pressure on these lines, bad things happen. So you can't just leave the machine on and hope for the best, because you could lose power and then you're kind of screwed. So it has 2 valves for every single color, and this white valve is actually for varnish that we have in there currently. It could be white, but we'd have to take out the varnish, or we could add another one to have varnish and white, but we don't need that at the moment. So right now all of these are closed because the machine's been off. So I'm going to only open up the CMYK ones. The varnish ones are staying closed because since that's kind of like a specialty ink, I've already flushed those. And if I open those, ink is going to come back into the heads, and I don't want that. So these are open, these stay closed, and now that we've done that, I've got my little poly-knit lint-free towel, and I'm going to select the color purge button, and this is going to pump ink through the heads. We'll do that for a couple seconds. And then I'm going to wipe. And it seems like it's very easy for some air to get into these lines. I think just with like opening and closing the valve, just that little bit can pop some air in there. And so you can see that here before you wipe the heads, you could really see if there's air in there. And if that doesn't go away, there is a procedure to get the air out quicker. See, this is why you wear gloves, because I'm already a mess and I need paper towels. Ugh. Steve's a mess. All right. Let's do it again. And so it has this whole ink tray that it's catching everything in, and that kind of slides away to give you access to the heads. I'm gonna do another one and then we'll run a test. And I do have a brown box below this because even if you wait for the ink to stop dripping, more always comes out. And we can't be having that on the floor here. So get my hands clean, get the tray back, and now we can get a piece of material in here, get a vacuum down, and run a test print. So I just have a little piece of corrugated I'm going to use and turn my UV on. So being UV LED, it actually has a chiller, which is down there. And so as far as head height, this printer has an auto detect, and I'll show you that right now. So it's gonna go over top of the media, and then you're gonna see a little button pop out, which there is right over there. It's gonna touch the material, and then it's actually gonna go down like a millimeter after that. Now that the head height is set, I'm gonna run the nozzle check. Alright, so for some reason the cyan is always like the worst. Black is usually fine. Yellow is usually pretty good. Magenta's never perfect at the beginning. And cyan is always the worst. So let's run a couple more color purges, get it wiped down, and do it again. So that is my camera falling. So that is much better. Black is good. This material's messed up right there. That's okay. Yellow looks pretty good. Hard to see. Magenta looks pretty good. There's probably like two in that first row that aren't great. And then same thing with cyan, but it looks much better than that. So I'm gonna get a sheet of corrugated and load this thing up. I'm gonna move the carriage out of the way and forward, and I'm gonna take some isopropyl and wipe down the board. So I just set up this print file, and I really only need one of these, but I'm kind of wasting the sheet otherwise. And this is something that's temporary, and it's probably better for me to have extras because it'll probably be needed. So I set up my contour cut line, which is the red line there. I have some bleed, and right now it's ripping in Production Manager, and in a second we'll go over to the printer and pick it up there. Alright, so now we have the file over at the printer, and for some reason this rendering doesn't even ever look exactly as it should, but that's okay, we know it'll output right. So we're printing in a standard mode and not backlit. We're going to be doing express. And we're only printing these single-sided, so we only need one copy. We're going to start in the 0-0 position. And check out my ink consumption. $92 milliliters. That feels like a lot. I guess that's because of all... I don't know, it's got a bunch of each one, but definitely a lot of black. Okay. We're gonna hit print, we're gonna auto detect, even though the height was probably fine from the last piece of corrugated. We don't want to take any chances here. So we're gonna detect, and then we're gonna start the print. So over on the Suma, we're going to open this up, and we have to rotate the job. And I'm going to do it twice because I loaded it the other way. There we go. So these are the 3 signs. And this is just why I love the Suma, because everything comes out so nice. Clean edges. I use the double edge cutter. That's false. I use the heavy duty cutout tool on this because it's relatively straight, you know, except for the curved corners, but no big deal. So that's probably it for today's video. Sorry it was kind of like a bunch of different things. I started talking about stuff and then ended up printing stuff, but I just wanted to show up for you guys and be back and honestly make a video because I want to do things like this and be creative and all this stuff. Just haven't had a lot of time. So I'm going to try to make it a bigger priority. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And if you help me get there, that will make me extremely happy and want me to produce more content. So like this video, drop a comment below if you have any questions. If you've missed me, say so. I hope to see you in the next one.